Today our topic is rat in maze problem that uses the backtracking algorithm. So yesterday we read 8 queens problem that is also related to backtracking. So yesterday we have found 5 solutions for the 8 queens problem, and the rest 7 solutions, I told you that you have to find the rest 7 solutions. There are total 12 solutions for that problem that are feasible. So today our topic is rat in maze problem. So in the figure, you have been given various squares in the forms of horizontal and vertical rows and column. And in the leftmost corner, you see source is written, and in the bottom right corner, destination is written. So what is the rat in maze problem? First, I am describing the contents of the problem. Then we will be able to see how to solve those problems. So here, a maze is a 2D matrix in which some cells are blocked, like the cells that are colored in black color. These cells are blocked. One of the cells is the source cell, that is this cell, from where we have to start. We have to start from this source cell, and another one of them is destination cell. This is the destination cell where we have to reach. It means we have to start from here and we have to reach till this destination. It means we have to find a path from source to the destination without moving into any of the blocked cell. It means to start from source and to reach till destination, we have to move via the path that are not blocked. It means these paths are blocked. This cell is blocked, this cell is blocked, this cell is blocked. All the black cells are blocked and all the white cells are not blocked. It means we can move in the white cell direction. So here the allowed movements are from source. Either we can move one cell down, one cell up, one cell left, and one cell right. It means left, right, up, and down. There are 4 movements that are allowed from the source node, and we can move only one step, either forward or backward, up or down. So let's consider this is the given problem. You have been given the source node and you have been given the destination node, and you have to find the path from reaching to the destination node via the source node to traverse between various cells. So to solve this puzzle, first we have to start with the source cell and move in the direction where path is not blocked. It means in this example, suppose we are at present at the source node. It means we can't move right because this cell is blocked. We can't move left because there is no cell. We can't move upward because there is no cell. The only movement that is allowed here is one cell downward, that is from here. The allowed movements are one cell down, that is at this place. If the taken path makes us reach to the destination, then the puzzle is solved. It means if we start from source and we are using the dedicated white cells where the movement is allowed and we are reaching the destination, it means we can solve our problem. So first we will make a matrix to represent the maze, and the elements of matrix which we are representing are either 0 or 1. 1 will represent the cells where we can be able to move, and 0 will represent all the cells where the movement is blocked. It means all the black cells are denoted by the 0 entry and all the white cells are denoted by the 1 entry. 1 means the movement is allowed and 0 means the movement is blocked. So for the given figure, the matrix is given below. Just I am expanding my figure. So this is the matrix for this particular block. So this is the source node, this is the destination node. So here the cell is white, it means the movement is allowed. So entry is marked as 1. Here the cell is blocked, so blocked cell is denoted by 0. Again, white cell is denoted by 1, and these two are black cells denoted by 0, 0. So the first row entries are 1, 0, 1, 0, and 0. So for the second row, all the 5 cells are white. It means the entries are labeled as 1. 1 means the movement is allowed. So all the 5 entries are 1, 1, 1, 1, and 1. So let's come to the third row. The first entry is blocked. So the first cell is denoted by the entry 0. Then again second entry is allowed, so denoted by 1. Third cell is blocked, denoted by 0. So that is denoted by 0. Fourth cell is movement is allowed, so denoted by 1 here. Then the last cell is blocked, again denoted by 0, shown in the third row of the matrix. Then in the fourth row, the first two entries are allowed, third entry is not allowed, fourth entry is allowed, and fifth entry is allowed. It means the movement is in the matrix is 1 1 0 1 1. So that is represented by 1 1 0 1 and 1. So for the last row, this cell is blocked denoted by 0 1 1 0 and 1. So the entry of the last row of the matrix are denoted by 0 1 1 0 1. So we can represent the given Mage matrix by using the values 0 and 1. So now our goal is to find the destination node when we start from the source node via the admissible movement in the white block where the movement is allowed. So one of the solution to this problem are, we start from this node, we move one node downward, then one right movement, again one right movement, again one right movement, then one movement downward, again one movement downward, then one movement right, and again one movement downward. And in this way, we can reach from the source node to the destination node via some dedicated path. And what is the use of backtracking in this algorithm? Suppose instead of moving from this direction, suppose you start from source node, you move to this cell, move to this cell, and if by any way you think that it is better to move in this direction so that the solution can be reached, since this cell consists of 5 cross 5, it means total 25 squares. So let's imagine if there are 1000 squares, then it is not possible for you to reach the goal in one direct movement. Since this is a simple 25 square, so you can see that we start from here and move till here and we reach the solution. But what happens if we move from here to here and then go downward in search of the solution? So if we reach at any point of time at this place, then we can see there is no path to move from here to here. So we again start backtracking to reverse our step, move here, and then again search from some other cell. So this is the concept of backtracking that is used in this rat and maze problem. You have been given a matrix. So for this solution, our matrix will be, for first row, our movement will start from 1 and all the cells we have blocked because we only move from source cell. So the entries are 1 0 0 0 0. For the second cell, we move from here, 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 and here. It means the entries are 1 1 1 and 1. We can't move here, so its entry is 0. So for the second row, the entry is 1 1 1 1 and 0. For the third row, we only move to this cell. It means 0 0 0 and 1, and this is also 0. So the third row is 0 0 1 0, and fourth row is, we only move to the last two cells, so its entry becomes 1 and all the rest entries become 0 0 0 0 1 and 1. So the fourth row entries are 0 0 0 1 1, and for the last row, we only reach the destination cell, we can't move to any other cell, so all the entries become 0, and for the destination cell, the entries will become 1. So the last row entries are 0 0 0 0 and 1. So this is the matrix for the solution. So for the solution, we only put one entry where our path is allowed. If we can't move to that cell, then all the entries are 0. So this is the solution for our rat and maze problem. So I have given a practice assignment for you. So this is not compulsory to submit this problem. Just you can solve this problem via for your revision. So just take a look at that problem, and if you have some time, then you will be able to solve that problem. You don't have to submit this problem. I have just given you for a practice problem. So let us assume we have a rat maze as described by the following matrix n cross m. This is the n cross m matrix where S is the start location and F is the end location. It means this S means the start location and this F means the final destination. So the idea is to traverse from S to F that we did in the previous example. The matrix can have only values 0 and 1. 1 represents a path that can be taken and 0 represents a block path that we did earlier. We can make the following assumptions. S will always be 0, 0 because S will always be the first entry, leftmost entry, that is 0, 0, and the destination will be the rightmost entry, bottom rightmost entry. So it will always be the n, that is the order of matrix n cross m. As seen from the above matrix, there can be many paths from S to F, that is from source to destination. So you have to find the shortest path from S to F without actually traversing all the possible paths. So I have made a representation of this matrix into simpler diagram so that you will be able to see what we are going to do in this problem. Just look at the problem. So let's look at the first row entry. The first row entry is S, that is the place where the source is placed, and rest all entries are 0. It means all the other entries are blocked. So in the first row, I have made here source and all the entries are blocked. Red symbol means the entries are not allowed. For the second row, the entries are 1, 1 and all the entries are 0. It means blocked. So for the second row, 1, 1 and all the entries are blocked. For the third row, 0, 1, 1 and all the entries are blocked. So 0 means blocked, 1, 1 and all the entries are blocked. Similarly, likewise this, for the last row, the entries are 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, F. 0, 1, 1, 0 means block, 1, 1, 0, 0 and destination is final destination. So this is our goal node. So you have to apply the rat and maze problem and apply various strategy to find the solution using backtracking algorithm, and you have to do this problem by your own. So no need to connect to this and submit to this problem. So that's all about the rat and maze problem that we have studied till now. So we have been given a rat and maze, and it means you have been given a matrix, and from the given square we are forming the matrix. We have been given a source node, that is the leftmost top corner, and the destination node, that is the bottommost right corner. So our goal is to reach from source node to the destination node via various permissible paths. So for the blocked path, or where the entry is not allowed, like this one, we are not allowed to move, and the entry is allowed only one direction, either forward, backward, up or down. So this is rat and maze problem. So now our next topic is branch and bound method. So I am moving to that method, that is branch and bound method. So basically branch and bound method is used to solve a particular problem, and this is similar to backtracking in the sense that it uses a state space tree. In backtracking, we are using it constructing a tree that is called as a state space tree, and similarly to branch and bound method, this method also constructs a state space tree. We will see later with an example. But branch and bound method is useful only for optimization problem. It means if we need optimization, then we will be using branch and bound method instead of backtracking method. And it only uses the minimization problem. It means to use the branch and bound method, we are only able to solve the minimization problem and not the maximization problem. If we want to solve a maximization problem using branch and bound method, then first we need to convert it into minimization problem. Then we are able to apply the branch and bound method. So this is the important point, that branch and bound method is used for optimization problem, and only the minimization problem it is able to solve. So let's take an example. And there are 3 methods that are used in branch and bound method. The first one method uses a queue, the second method uses a stack, and the third method uses a least cost branch method. So I will explain it one by one. So let's take an example. First, I am taking an example. Let us consider a job sequence with a deadline problem. And here jobs are given as job 1, job 2, job 3 and job 4, denoted by J1, J2, J3 and J4. The second given is profit. Values are 10, 5, 6 and 4. The deadlines are given as 3, 2, 1 and 1. Suppose this is the given problem, that is the job sequencing problem. And now how the state space tree is generated for the above problem. So let's, okay. So first I'm explaining the queue with the help of queue method that uses the FIFO order, that is first in first out order. So suppose we are taking the solution in the order of J1 and J4. It means we first solve the job 1 and then job 4. So our strategy is to solve the problem using J1 and J4. So this is also called as variable size solution. So suppose I am doing job J1 and then I am doing the job J4. And another way of writing this problem as J1, J4 as 1, 0, 0, 1, because only we are doing job 1 and job 4. So all the rest, job 2 and job 3 becomes 0. We are not doing that job. So if we write like this, then this is called as fixed size solution. So now I am taking the variable size solution. That is this method is also called subset method. So let's draw the state space tree for this particular problem. So let's go back. So how many jobs are there? There are total 4 jobs. So first we have to construct a tree for that. So suppose we start from this node. I labeled this node as 1. So we have to do how many jobs? 4 jobs. So first job 1, J1, J2, J3 and J4. And the nodes are labeled as 2, 3, 4 and 5. It means we are using which method? Branch and bound method, and this method uses the breadth first search algorithm. It means we are first solving this, then this, then this and this, and after that we are proceeding to the next level. So branch and bound method uses the depth first algorithm, but if we are using the backtracking algorithm, then the algo used there are depth first search algorithm. But since we are using branch and bound method, so we are concentrated on BFS, that is the breadth first search algorithm. So mistakenly I have written here DFS, so just correct it. This is BFS. In branch and bound method, the algorithm is breadth first search. So mistakenly I have written here DFS. So I have uploaded this material on the Google Classroom. So by yourself you just correct it and write here breadth first search. So just move to this question. So till now we have constructed J1, J2, J3 and J4, that is the first level tree. Previously we have constructed the first level tree. Now again start constructing from the first level to the second level. So how will you proceed? So to proceed, start from this node, that is job 1. So after job 1, how many possibilities are there? There are 3 possibilities, because the remaining jobs are job 2, job 3 and job 4, denoted by J2, J3 and J4. So the next entries are J2, J3 and J4, and the nodes are labeled as 6, 7 and 8. Now next move to job 2, that is at node 3. So after doing job 2, we have only left with 2 jobs, that is job 3 and job 4, because when we are at job 2, we are not thinking about job 1 and job 2, because if we are at job 2, it means we have already done job 1 and job 2. So the only possibilities are job 3 and job 4, denoted by node 9 and node 10. So now let's move to node 4, that is at job 3. So since when we are at job 3, it means we already did job 1, job 2, job 3. So only remaining job are job 4. So job 4 denoted by node 11. So when we are at job 4, since this is the last job, so there is no possibility to expand this node. So this is the second level tree representation of our problem. So now next going to expand to the third level if possible. So let's start with this node. Leftmost node, we always start from leftmost tree. So since at node 6 we are at job 2, it means there are 2 remaining jobs, job 3 and job 4. So expand this node, job 3 and job 4, labeled by node 12 and node 13. Again at node 7, since we are at job 3, it means the remaining job is only one, job 4. So job 4, J4, denoted by node 14. Now when we are at node 8, it means node 8 had job J4, so there is no need to expand since J4 is the last job. So again move to next node, that is node 9. Since node 9 had job 3, that is J3, so only one job left, that is job J4. So expand this node, labeled as 15, and the job is J4. So again when we move at node 10, so node 10 already had job J4, so there is no need to expand since J4 is the last job. Again move to node 11. Since node 11 had job J4, so there is no need to expand since J4 is the last job. So this is our final tree for the given problem, J1, J2, J3, J4, when we start with the solution J1, J4. So initially our problem is J1, J2, J3, J4 with profit and deadline given, and we are assuming that our solution is to start from J1, J4, means we did job J1 first and then job J4 first. So for the given problem using Q method, we are constructing the state space tree First we are constructing level 1, then level 2, and at level 3 our problem is solved. This is basically the fourth level. After third level, only one job is left, that is J3. So I have made this final tree for job 4 level. I will skip the third level. So this is the final constructed tree for the given problem. So this is our first method to solve a given problem. So now let's move to the second method that uses the stack. So I have taken the same problem and the same solution strategy that I have applied earlier. Our solution strategy that we did job J1 first and then job J4. So first start with node. I label the node as 1. Then we have 4 jobs to be done. J1, J2, J3, J4, and the node are labeled as 2, 3, 4, 5. So here we are pushing all the nodes into the stack and in the order in which they arrive. So first the job J1 will arrive. So place the node 2 here. After that job J2 will arrive. So node 3 will be placed. After that node job J3 will arrive. So node 4. Job J4 will arrive. So node 5. So in this order we are pushing the element into the stack. So what we have to do next? Now which node you have to expand next. So the node that should be expanded next is the last node that to be inserted. Since it is based on a stack operation, it means last in first out. The node that is inserted now last is to be came out first. So we expand node 5. So remove this element from this stack, that is node 5 is popped out and expanded. And since node 5 has which job? Job J4, and J4 is the last job. So we need not be able to expand this node since our job is completed. So our remaining stack is this one, 2, 3, 4, since 5 is popped out, and we are not able to expand node 5 since 5 had the J4 job. So the next node to be expanded is node 4. So just pop this node and expand. So fourth node is this one, and it has job J3. So yes, we need to expand it, and after expanding, it has one remaining job, that is job J4. Since we are expanding the tree, so the next job is J4, denoted by node 6 and labeled as job J4. So since we are expanding node 4, so node 4 is expanded via node 6. So this 6 value is inserted into the stack. 4 is popped out, and in place of 4, we are inserting the expanded node value, that is node 6. So after this, what we have to do again, we have to pop the top element, that is 6, and expand the node. But since node 6 had job J4, so there is no need to expand. We simply delete this value, and our stack becomes only, the stack has only 2 values, 2 and 3. So what we have to do next, we have to again deleting the top element. So let's see the next step. So this is our remaining stack. So the next element is to be removed from the stack is node 3. So node 3, this node, and this node has only job 2. So it means there is 2 possibilities to expand node 3, that is job 3 and job 4. So we are expanding this node 3, job 3 and job 4 via the node labeled as 7 and 8, and we are inserting these values into the stack. So since we are popping the value 3, and instead of 3 we are inserting 7 and 8, so 7 and 8 are inserted into the top of the stack. So here the top value is 8. So in the next step we need to pop out the value 8. It means we need to pop out this, but since this node has the job J4, so there is no need to expand, so our remaining stack will become this. So the next step is to pop the top element, that is node number 7. Since node number 7 has job J3, so yes, we are able to expand. We are expanding, this is node 7, we are expanding since we are at job 3. So there is only one possibility, that is job 4. We are expanding node 7. So this will be the job 4, and the node is labeled as 9, and the same value is inserted to the top of the stack. So in the next step, our top value is 9. So again, we are popping the value, but since this had the job J4, then we have no choice. So we just simply pop this element, and the remaining element in the stack is 2, and there is no need to expand the tree since we are popping this element. So the last element is 2. So the next step is to expand this node, it means 2 node is this one. So at this node, we are at job J1. So there are 3 possibilities, job 2, job 3 and job 4, denoted by node 10, 11 and 12. And we are pushing these elements into the stack in the order in which they are inserted. First 10, then 11 and then 12. So in the order we are inserting the node to the stack. So by this way, we are applying the strategy using the stack to find a solution using branch and bound method. We are assuming the solution in the order of job J1 and J4. So this is the second method. Now let's move to the third possibility of the branch and bound method, and that is called as least cost branch and bound method, and denoted by least cost LC and branch and bound BB. So you have called this method as LCBB or least cost branch and bound method. So in this method, we have to calculate the cost for each and every node. So since we are starting from the initial node, and since initially we have 4 jobs, job J1, job J2, job J3 and job J4, and since in least cost method, we have to know the cost of each node. So we are just putting the cost of each node. So initially we are assuming the cost to be infinity, and for job J1, J2, J3, J4, I have given certain values. Like for job J1, the value is cost value is 25. For node J2, the cost value is 12. For node J3, the cost value is 19, and for node J4, this job, the cost value is 30. So the next task is which node we have to expand next. So in this case, the node that have the lower cost is to be expanded first. So out of these 4 nodes, which node had the lower cost? This node had 25, 12, 19 and 30. It means we have to expand this node since this node has cost 12. It means we have to expand node 3 first. So let's move to node 3. Since node 3 had job J2, so the only possibilities are job J3 and job J4. So we are expanding job J3 and job J4, and the nodes are labeled as 6 and 7. And suppose the cost for these nodes are, for node 6 the cost is 8, and for node 7 the cost is 7. So after trying this, our next question is, now which node we have to expand next? So out of these nodes, which node had the lower cost? So the node that has the lower cost is node number 7, that had the cost 7. So it means we have to expand node 7 first. But since node 7 already had job J4 and job J4 is the last job, it means we are already proceeding to the goal of our solution and we are reaching to the goal. So this is the solution of our given problem. So this tree is the solution for our given problem, and we didn't need to proceed further, or we didn't need to expand any node further. So this is the third solution for a given problem using least cost branch and bound method. So till now I have explained you 3 methods using branch and bound method. First one method uses is queue, the second one method uses stack, and the third one method uses the least cost method. So hoping you will be able to understand the concept, and after this class just go to the Google Classroom, and I have shared this written material to you so that you will be able to see all the entries of jobs and node labeled, so that it will be clear to you in understanding. And I have written all the steps in the writing so that you will be able to learn by yourself. If after this class you have any doubt, then you will be able to ask me via the Google Classroom or via the WhatsApp group. I am giving your answer if you have any doubt. So that's all for this week. So this week we have started the last module of your course, and the last module is algorithm module. And in algorithm we have studied the introduction to backtracking, what backtracking is, and we have studied 2 algorithms that is related to backtracking. The first one algorithm is 8 queens problem. We have seen the problem statement and then we are reaching to the solution of 8 queens problem. I have given you 5 solutions and the rest 7 solutions you have to find by yourself using the backtracking. The second backtracking algorithm that I have discussed are rat and maze problem. So rat and maze problem I have discussed today, and then at last I have discussed the branch and bound method. This method is very popular and it is used for optimization and it solves only the minimization problem. So this is very important branch and bound algorithm, and I have discussed 3 variations of branch and bound. The first one uses stack, the second one uses queue, and the third one uses the least cost method. So these are the 3 variations